Okay, I didn't give you a lot of time, but you know, if you recognize that this is the difference quotient, it involves t and h, and I just told you what t and h are, right? Now you might not have picked up on all of that. That's forgivable this time. Okay? But a lot of you got it. Okay, well, the difference quotient equals 8t minus 5 plus 4h, which equals 8 times 0.6, because t is 0.6, minus 5 plus 4h, which is 4 times 0.1. And if you figure all that out, you get 0.2. So the difference quotient is just the slope of the fundamental triangle for the interval from t to t plus h. And this is something you got to take home with you, okay? So the difference quotient is the slope. Let me make sure I have the camera on here because this is really good. It is the slope of your fundamental triangle on the interval t plus h. And you understand why I wrote this now 6.6 plus 0.1. Now this is your t, and this is your t plus h. Plug it in here, or just do it without even going to the difference quotient. It's a shorthand for the slope of this triangle. Okay, I think we're out of time. No, we've got a minute. Okay, so a little over a minute. This is a great big deal because another thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about this next time, how do you figure out the slope of this graph at the instant t equals 0.6? Well, what you do is you take smaller and smaller fundamental triangles starting at 0.6, like you do 0.6 on the interval 0.6, 0.6 plus 0.001. Very tiny triangle that I would even excuse you for not being able to draw on your paper, okay? The slope of that triangle is going to be very close to the actual slope of the graph at that point. The slope of the graph keeps changing, right? So if you let h be 0 in this case, you get 8t minus 5, okay? Now I'm saying something maybe I shouldn't, because you don't actually let h be 0, you let h approach 0, but you're going to do that in your homework, okay? Okay. Now that's not really a true statement, and we'll talk about why it's not quite an accurate statement, because it's an idea you want before you get into a calculus course of any kind. And this is a pre-calculus course. Okay? I'll say this is the slope of the graph of f of t equals 4t squared minus 5t plus 6. At the point 0.6, 4.44. So if I have an accurate graph and draw a slope of a tangent line at that point, we'll talk about what a tangent line is, which is a line that fits the slope of the graph at that point. That's it. And the reason this is so important is because this is the rate of change of this function. It's the rate at which this function is changing, and the rate of change of a function is one of the two big deals in calculus. I'm not going to teach you calculus, but I'm going to take you right up to the algebra and the pre-calculus that you need to do well in a calculus course. You get a good start in a calculus course. You also need the algebra, which is why we keep beating on the algebra. Okay? So you should be able to do the assignment.